what I've done, I've put that bit of netting, I've just put a little cable tie around it to hold it on now. Last year when I had my shag had got his head inside the pipe and it made a mark on top of its head, and I had to give it a bit of treatment. That mark's gone now. I'm just worried if Goldie keeps putting his mouth in there or his head in there, the edge of the plastic might rub a mark into his face, so I don't want to risk infection on him after what he's gone through. But he's down there now swimming about. No doubt he'll come up in a minute and have a look, see what it is. All I can do is he's swimming about okay. I'm just assuming that it's some sort of larvae or something that's coming out that he's eating at. He's not gasping on the top for air or nothing like that. I've been watching him, he's been coming up on top of the pond, but his mouth ain't open for air. Just seems a strange thing, and there's the shag just in front of him. Just had to keep an eye on him. I've just changed the nozzle over on my hose pipe to water my garden. I've left it on spray onto the pool because of Goldie. As you can see, it's actually started overflowing. There's my overflow there. My daughter turned up and I just totally forgot all about it. Now the reason I put that in because I was worried about oxygen. And there's Goldie. I put a blue net on. There's Goldie still hanging round that pipe for some reason. I don't think it's gasping for air because it's not doing it on the top of the pond, all around the pond, just that one particular place. I really don't know what's going on, whether it's just the temperature or what. I really don't know. There you go, back again, look. Strange. Well, it's the 14th, it's 8 o'clock. Goldie's swimming around. I've just catch Goldie, not with its mouth on the pipe, but just basking underneath it. But all the fish are all swimming around, all good. So hopefully everything's okay. Still keeps going back round towards that pipe. Spoke to Dave yesterday and he's assuming it's just larvae that's coming out there. Fly larvae. Feeding off it. Just lazing about. So hopefully all is good. So, as you can see, I've got to build up the dreaded algae again. So what I've decided to do, I've got a nitrite and a nitrate, just a slight spike, overfeeding, probably overstocked as well. How you doing, matey? So on my intentions today, rather than flush the filter out, is to just to net as much crap off the top as I possibly can, because I've got to clean the pumps out again. And I don't want to disturb the brushes and the jack matting. While I'm at it, I'm going to move that airlift pump over to that side of the bridge, get the flow going that direction, and then I'm going to undo the screw out of that pipe there and aim it that way, so the flow goes that direction. And see if I can get an almost circular motion. For you who've got ponds, you already know this, but for you who haven't, if you can see inside that pipe there, you can actually see the larvae. I don't know whether you can actually see it moving about, but I'm assuming that is what Goldie's trying to feed off, what comes out the pipe. But this is the main pipe that's coming out the filter, which has just dropped off there, so I've just got to screw it back on fact, I think if that was a bit longer, I think I'd leave it running like that, but it's not so. In fact, I think while we've got this weather, I might leave it like that, just to see if it oxygenates the water more. Just while we've got these up temperatures. This is one of the ongoing problems I'm up against as koi keepers. All you who've got koi will understand it. See the amount of algae around that pipe. The sock that I've made to trap the algae is working a treat. I'm doing that every day. When you've got treatment in your pond, the problem you've got is, especially me, that's ready to overflow, which means the filter needs flushing. And when you've got medication in your pond, you're obviously diluting. So not only have I got to empty my net, which you can see is working absolute treat, but saying that, there's still a hell of a lot of algae that's getting past it, and obviously for some reason it's filling that up, and that's almost ready to overflow. So again, just 5 days in, I've got 6 days treatment. I messed up with the second treatment, left the trickling overnight by mistake. Put more treatment in, and now it's on the day after, and now I've got to flush this out, and this will need flushing twice. I don't know how many gallons of water I'm in this Nexus, but you've got to top it up again. Same actually draining your chemical down and then diluting it even finer. And it's never, I just don't know where this algae this is coming from, I'm sure. But it is what it is. That now is almost breaking the rim today. Right at the tip of the lip there. That's something you couldn't leave while you went away. In fact, I don't know how I'd cope with this while I was away. If I went away for a week without a doubt, that'd be overflowing. And there's nothing else I can do. I've got treatment in for cloverleaf, blanket answering, which is always worth the treat. I'll give it 2 doses of that. Normally one dose will last the year. I've never had to bother with it again. Unfortunately this year, this is the 2nd dose already, and I'm ready to put a 3rd dose in, but I was waiting for the treatment to take effect first. But it is what it is. Clean my little pump out. I've turned my airflow pump round. The temperatures, I'll flick around and show you. It's only 25 past 11, and that's the temperature already. I've cleaned the little pump out. I've netted some of the algae out with a green filter, and I've given that a flush. Again, been putting treatment in our ponds, having to clean it because of the algae, and diluting it. It's a never-ending battle, especially with the temperatures we're having. It's just one of them things of koi keeping that we've got to do. All those who've got koi will know, just keep an eye on this. But while I'm flushing this through now, that'll give me a chance to clean the big pump out the bottom of the pond, because I don't think the flow in my Nexus is as strong as it should. I do want to change things round. Unfortunately, financially, I can't do it at the moment. I need 2-inch piping from a retro bottom drain about 2 years ago to go in one side of the pool into my Nexus, and then arrange the other 10,000 pump to go into the green filter, because that pump really ain't coping. It's taking me enough flow through the filter, but it's doing what I wanted to do at the moment, so I'm quite happy to leave it as it is. And like I say, financially, the price of stuff now, plastic pipe, I ain't paying it. I refuse to pay it. The fish are more right as they are. It'll have to stay as it is. It's as simple as that. Just thought I'd bring you back to show you this. I'm one of those that like to keep my filter clean. However, the problems I had last year, I've decided this year, absolutely full. That is actually larvae, fly larvae. It's absolutely covered in it. I've just took the pipe work off, as you know, changed it round on the pond, and the pipes are just full of larvae. The other thing I've been doing, which I don't normally do, if I'm honest, is keep cleaning this out with the water out the tap with the hose pipe. But because I've had so much trouble with the algae this year, especially in the vents there, it just gets blocked of algae and I can't get it out. I've used the jet wash to jet wash it off. So I'm just wondering whether it could be something to do with the chlorine. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to try and do it without using the jet wash and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I've took my main pump out, 10,000 litre, and to be honest, I didn't actually catch that. There's hardly anything in that at all. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a swill. You can tell now I've moved it, how it's chained all that off. Maybe they can catch that on camera. That's made a right mess. But anyway, just swirl that out and get it back together. This is the second flush. Can't believe how much algae is still spewing out the pond. I've actually missed that on camera. It was actually full all over the top of that lid. Unbelievable. This has got to be now 13, 14 weeks non-stop. You can actually see how much algae is actually flowing. That's going directly down the drain. It's absolutely unbelievable. Look at that lot. The builders next door think I've lost the plot, so I keep talking to myself. They don't realise I'm actually talking to all you lovely people. I don't know whether you remember, if you watched my videos last year, I actually lost the fish through that little white algae there that I put on, and since I put that on that pump's been working absolutely, I'd say 80% better. But as you know, if you watch my videos, I put a cage over that to stop any more fish giving up, and now I can't find the cage. It's clouded the water up that much now, I can't find it, put it back on. I've seen this before on a previous video where I tried to set it up into my green filter to water my plants. That never worked. As you can see there, 3,500. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rig that up now to my green filter. I think the pump that's on that I had off Pete from West Buncoy, I think that's about 1,800. I'll have a look when I get it off. So what I'm going to do, while I've got all the ponding pieces, I'm going to rig this one up so there's 3,500 litres are now going through instead of 1,800. That should make a big difference. I did find the cage, it was in the shallow end. So the cage is now back on that white pipe, that little alba. So I'm going to rig this up now and I'll catch you in a bit. If you ever watched my last video, I pointed out about that plant. It was planted exactly the same time as that white plant, same size plant, planted the same day. Now if you remember, I took some water out of there and watered it, and look how that's spread already. So hopefully that's taking off. Now I've just paged that filter again. See a lot of algae in it. I don't want to clean that out because I've cleaned the nexus. I'm just trying to get my net and get some of the surplus crap. I don't know whether you can actually see the algae in the bottom of there. So I'm just waiting for this to fill up now so I can get a picture of the flow. Take that out a sec. see, it's only just a slight flow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that other one on. The only concern I've got is, if you remember on my other video, that hose tail there actually snapped off because I'm having to lift the flexi hose out because it's not on the bottom of my pond. It was the piece of pipe I got left over, and it was just that mind your own business shot off Tony Barker's going absolutely beautiful. And you can actually see the pump there, just there, probably not because of the sun. It's only just hanging off a short piece of pipe that I had left. And every time I lift that up to clean it, and I've only just cleaned that, nobody can see it. See if I can get over here. Sorry about the camera work. You can see that. It's been about 20 minutes and then I'm blocking up already. But that's obviously because I've took the main pump out the bottom of the pond and just stirred all the crap up. You can see it floating about. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to rig that other pump up and get that in there. That's it now. Let it flow. So we'll change it over and see if there's a difference. The only concern I've got, when I was talking to Dave about it, is I don't want this to overflow. So I've got the 10,000 litre pump that's down there running the pond. I want that to actually, the pipe work to go up around there so you can't see it, split to that. I've got to move that because I've got to put a post down there because I want to block all this side in here because there's a family moving in next door. I'm not going to go into details, and I'm just concerned about them throwing things in the pond, so I'm going to try and block that end off at a later date and block that end up. But I've got the posts. I've got the posts ready to do it. I've got some scaffold netting that's on the top of there, so I could use that. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. But I was going to try and use fiberglass sheeting at the top, just the top half to block it off. I don't need to block the bottom. And the lads have taken some metal sheets down, but I think they've given to the tatter, so I've missed out on them. But I was going to use the metal sheets for across the bottom, just to block it in over the winter. Okay, then back to this sow. I'm going to rig that up now and see what the difference is. Got this pump off now. That was 1500 litres an hour, which have been working fine. And as you know now, this one is 3,500. Now luckily, Blagden, and this is me giving somebody a good review. I don't think getting to 400 with Blagden, if I'm honest. The amount of parts and fittings you get to fit almost every bit of pipe work. And the beauty about it is I need it to screw on, so I can unscrew the pipe off to clean this out, and that screws on a treat. So I'm going to set this up now, switch it on and see what happens. There you go, it's up and running. I put that piece of pipe in there so as the water in the filter to have empty back in the pond. So all I do is pull that out now. If you can see that, if that pipe water in there and I turn the pump off, the filter all empties back into the pond. So I'll just use that bit of adaptation. As you can hear, the water's already starting to come through. See, flow on the top of that. You can actually catch it on camera, the circulation, the vortex effect. You can see the flow into that bay. That's actually like the vortex, and this one already. You can actually see the algae flowing, so that's acting as a vortex as well. And I'm sure you'll agree that's a lot more flow. it's actually making the pipe move. That should help with a lot more circulation. Goldie down the bottom. All a bit spooked obviously because I've been missing for quite a few hours now. It's now 1:45, so I've been on it for quite a while. I did decide to leave. Well, you can see that there, the elbow off the pipe that comes out the filter. Try and oxygenate it a bit more, chatting bubbles. Oxygenate it a bit more. Whenever the cools down a little bit, I might put the elbow back on. I have left the elbow in the pond just so the larvae can continue to survive. Tell the difference in the flow in the water now. What I've done, you've probably seen this before on my channel, it's what I use to clean my feeding pipe out. My feeder's inside my filter house. I've just put that little, it's just a baby's bottle brush on one of them wire things you use for down your sink, and I've just put that through the pipe work on the filter, and that's gushing out beautiful now. Absolutely superb. Just 2 hours after putting the little net back into my Nexus filter. 2 hours. Obviously I took the pumps out, cleaned them all, disturbed all the crud. The net was full. I've just cleaned that out, and I've just found just under half a tub of clover leaf. So I've lobbed it in. And you can actually see that already breaking down. I was just watching Goldie as I come back up and noticed that Goldie's flashed across the side of the pool. I've had a word with Dave, well I've had a word with the lads, and Dave reached out and he says, can't do tonight, can't do tomorrow, it's going to have to be Friday. We're going to actually get Goldie out, do some scrapes on the fish and see if we can find what's going on and go from there. Today's the day. I'm going to have to get Goldie out and do a scrape. It's been the 3rd day now. I don't know whether you can see there. As you know, I removed the algae off that pipe just to oxygenate it more. Goldie is swimming about, as you can see most of the time. There's a couple of them that I'm just... That's actually ginger behind her. So I'm probably going to be able to film a lot of it. So I want to get Goldie out, find out what sex it is as well, and do a scrape and see what's going on. Okay. Looking by the looks of that, I'd say that is male. The part everybody's been looking forward to seeing. Still a little bit purple, but that's all healed over. Absolutely lovely. Just see if I can turn him round. There we know. I've got to get out and do a scrub because it's been struggling. Still a little bit of redness, but not a lot. Put a little bit of treatment on that before I put it back in, or put him back in. But that has healed up lovely. If you look at the rhino fin, that's healed up lovely. And the dorsal fin is all lovely. And the pec fins, a little bit of a split there, expected what it's gone through, but that has healed up Lovely. Even where I've cut part of the rays off there, look, I've all healed up. A treat. The tail again is lovely. There's your update on Goldie. Well, unfortunately the tail looking very good for Goldie. I've put him in sedate. It feels like I've had him in the water now for 10 minutes. I've actually got him in the pan net with an air stone. There don't seem to be no gill movement or nothing. But if you don't like these sort of things, look away. I've tried to keep it out of the sun from the other side of the pool. I did do a scrape. I've not checked the scrape yet. I was more concerned on the fish. There don't seem to be any sign of movement at all. For the past 3 days, Goldie's been stuck under the outlet. They're both filters, one side, one the other side. Not gasping for air. All the other fish, they've been swimming around, they've been feeding, they're eating all the food that's in the pool. I thought I'd get Goldie out and do a scrape. I wasn't very happy about it. Dave was going to come round Friday and help me, but I felt I couldn't wait no longer. I'm just hoping that they'd pull through. Well, this is the video I really do want to have to put out. Over the period of months, people have been asking about Goldie. I've been putting videos out with Goldie's progress, just swimming around up and down weathers. I don't want to take Goldie out. As you can tell by the video I've just showed, I've sedated Goldie, as I've done many times before. Changed nothing, done everything exactly the same, apart from the temperature's so hot. Sadly, Goldie's died. I've had him in a net, keeping him upright with an air stone in. Normally, within 5-7 minutes, 10 at the most, the fish is up and swimming about. Goldie's not the only one that I've put to sleep. Again, I've done scrapes, can't find absolutely nothing at all. Nothing. I only took Goldie out, I took another fish out, scraped that one, sedated it, scraped it, put that back in, it's swimming around. I think Goldie was just too weak. I've still got it in the net now at the moment, just hoping that it'll pull through, but there's no sign of any movement in the mouth, the gills, nothing. So all you people have been watching Goldie's journey and my journey, treating Goldie. You can tell by the earlier video the wound was healing, absolutely great. Everything else on the fish was healed up, lovely. I just can't explain it. When this is fish after fish after fish, you all know Dave Black Country Koi Bloke's been round numerous times with his microscope. Can't find nothing. I've got an extra filter on my pond. The filters are all full of larvae, which is showing the water's good. The plants that are in the pond are growing, which is showing that the water's good. I've got a little bit of nitrite and nitrate, but nothing, just like pinkish, expected when you're feeding. Water changes regular because the algae in the nexus, so we tell like anything wrong with the water. I just don't know. I'll say it time and time again, I don't know. Sorry to bring bad news. Little Mason's been here as well, watching it in the net. Yeah, rest in peace Goldie. Okay then, sad day for me today, and Mason. Never expected it, if I'm honest. Never recovered, left him almost 3 hours, hoping he'd come out the anaesthetic, but obviously not. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people who've helped me out along the way. It's been over 12 months now since I started treating Goldie. From day one, people assumed that the problems I had originally started from fish I bought off Jack the Bouldering Reefer. 100% that was not true at all. And I'd like to thank Jack the Bouldering Reefer. From day one, was always there on the end of the phone, helping me out, trying to give me the best advice that he'd got at the time. And also Josh and his missus, them subscribers to my channel. They've travelled all the way from Stone, bought me a medical kit to help me out, also with Goldie. Massive thank you to you. And of course Dave, the Black Country Koi bloke, Rob Walker Koi, for standing by me week in, week out, month in, month out. Not just advice, but full support, the advice, and just being there. Glyn Maddock and Pete from West Brom Koi, as you know, the Black Country boys, always there if I need an hand, always there if I need to ask him anything, advice. I'd just like to thank you all for trying your hardest to help me. Unfortunately, it come to a point where Goldie couldn't make it no more. But thank you anyway, and I'd like to thank all the people that week in, week out leave me a comment asking how Goldie's progressing. And up until today, Goldie was doing absolutely fantastic. I still don't know what's causing the problems with my koi. I've done tests, you've seen on my recent video, water tests, different tests. I've had different people here, microscopes, scrapes and more scrapes. Can't find nothing at all. What else? I've added a filter on, as you know, the 3-bay green filter I've added on for better filtration, to see if it's anything to do with that. My waterfall's been disconnected since last year, to see if it's something to do with that. I really don't know. I messaged my mate who actually gave me Goldie to find out how long it was since I actually had it off him, and it was actually a little square pond that I helped him build 12, well, he demolished it 12 years ago. That's when I received Goldie and put him in my pond while he built himself a brand new pond. So it was 12 years old, or 12 years I've had Goldie, and it was a few years old before I had it. But it's one of them things, it's koi keeping. It just seems to be a regular thing, unfortunately for me. Still got the full support of the Black Country boys, which I appreciate, and a lot of other people. I'm not going to go into name in case I miss anybody out, because that's terrible. Too many people, but I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all your support and all your help. And I'm sorry to have to bring this video and share it with you. As always, folks, share my videos, subscribe if you don't mind, and for me and Mason, don't forget to polish our thumb. You know you want to, folks. Until next time.